How to keep a text conversation going with older women with ease. Hey guys, welcome to Beyond Ages. I'm Melanie, and today we're talking about how to keep a text conversation going with an older woman. In a world where dating websites and apps are so prevalent, being able to hold a text conversation is important. Even if you meet her out at a bar or event, text messages will still play a role throughout the courting process. If you're looking for even more in-depth information, don't forget to check out beyondages.com and our step-by-step video guides to attracting older women. How to keep a text conversation going strong. First things first, you should always be starting these text conversations on a high note. Rather than trying to build attraction with text messages, they're better used to strengthen it. If you met online and haven't been on a first date yet, you can at least assume some level of attraction. She gave you her number, right? Avoid making common errors. Sometimes avoiding common mistakes can make the difference between keeping a woman engaged and losing her interest. For example, things you should really avoid, like texting way too frequently, writing too much, over-complimenting, seeking validation, talking too much about yourself, asking too many personal questions, which should be left for dates. For example, some men feel that they need to text her multiple times every day or she'll lose interest. Put yourself in her shoes. If you were really into her but you didn't get a message for 24 hours, would you immediately move on? Unlikely. Instead, set up a date when the timing feels right and let the conversation happen naturally until then. Focus on her and keep it fun. The quickest way to turn a woman off is by making everything about you. This doesn't mean it has to be one-sided, but if you ask a question, pay attention to the answer. If she's telling you a story, listen. Be aware of the balance in the conversation and don't be afraid of pointing it out if you've become the feature. So anyway, enough about me. What do you miss most about living in Spain? With that simple message, the conversation has now switched back to her. All you have to do is listen. Once you can find a topic she's enthusiastic about, conversation will carry itself. Tease her for fun. Playful teasing can make for fun conversation. If you both have a good sense of humor, things can escalate quickly and offer some fun banter for your first date. For example, if you're talking about travel, ask her what type of traveler she is. Are you the type that likes to explore exotic places or just get drunk like an 18-year-old in Cuba that's away from home for the first time? Something like this works best when you've established a lighthearted vibe from the beginning. Just make sure you avoid potentially touchy subjects, keeping it playful instead. Casually display your value. The fact that she gave you her number means she's at least somewhat attracted to you, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that she's 100% convinced just yet, though. Throughout the conversation, you want to let her know what type of a person you really are. This doesn't mean trying to impress her with how much money you make or what car you drive. Instead, consider what it is about your lifestyle that may be interesting to others. What are your hobbies or interests? Do you do something particularly interesting for a job? Maybe you enjoy traveling in some obscure places and have some amazing experiences to share. Whatever it is, there's no sense in keeping the interesting parts about you a secret, right? Just make sure you don't let this become an attempt at impressing her with material things. It's a very common mistake guys can make, and I can assure you it isn't attractive. Build rapport and have a purpose. From work colleagues to your dating life, building rapport is a crucial part of any relationship. That's exactly what you should be looking to do here too. The tips we've already covered today all work towards the same goal over text. Ultimately, what you should be aiming for in your messages is a level of comfort where you can invite her on a date. The first date is where the majority of your rapport building can happen. You're no longer limited by what you can convey through text messages. The fact that you were able to establish some comfort and build a playful banter means it will be a breeze. Inviting her on this date can be as simple as saying, "You seem interesting. Do you have some free time this week? We should meet." Just don't be in too much of a hurry to reach this point. If you're 2 messages in and already push for a date, it can be a little much. You don't really know each other yet, and you might come across as pushy or desperate, or worse, a creep. Be patient, but have this end goal in mind throughout your text conversation. And there we go, a few helpful tips to improve your text conversations with older women. Maintaining that attraction by engaging her in a lively back and forth that moves your connection forward. Avoid making common mistakes. Show your value in a subtle way and ask her out once you've built rapport. Finally, always make sure to enjoy the process. If you're having fun, she's more likely to vibe with you as well. For more tips on keeping the conversation going, as well as meeting and attracting older women, head on over to beyondages.com and check out our expert advice and detailed expert dating courses. Bye.